Well, good afternoon. It's Longhaultanker, straight razor shaving with Longhaultanker. Today is Friday the 13th of December 2024, and I am in Ontario, Oregon at the Love's Truck Stop. Now, there's all kinds of foot traffic going on right outside my door, so I'm not going to talk a lot or very loud. But the equipment I'm using today is American-made Robeson Sure Edge, and I think that's what, about a 5/8 or so. Let's see if I can get it to focus in here. So Robeson, there it goes right there, kind of. Robeson Sure Edge. And nice American made. I think it's somewhere out of New York. Yeah, I think it says Rochester on the tang there. Anyway, it's hard for me to see without my glasses, and even that small print, forget about it. Just plastic acrylic handles, scales, but this was honed and sharpened on Shapton glass progression, finished on the 30,000. So this should give it's always given me an excellent shave. Now for the brush this evening, we're going to use the same brush I've used since it's the only one I got with me. The Savile Row 26, maybe 28 millimeter, nice handle, faux ivory, premium silver tip Badger. Just a lovely brush. And for the soap, the Cajun Blade, and his nice little sample that he sent me. And I don't know what the scent is. There's no label on it for the scent, but it smells very much like sandalwood, or something like a sandalwood. Just the runoff, nice and slick. Nice and slick. Okay, so let's grab the brush. Let's lather it up. And he sent this to me a couple of months ago, and I've used it a few times, and I've always enjoyed it very much. And so delivery went well this morning in Portland at 8 o'clock this morning. I started rolling at about 5 minutes after 7 from the truck stop, got to the location for the delivery at about 7:30. And the company was open, and it's a small company. It's not a big chemical plant like you might think of in Louisiana or Texas. It's just almost like a warehouse, and the sort of location and the product went into a receiving pipeline and went into a storage tank. And it took them approximately an hour and a half, almost not quite 2 hours, to unload me. And so I was underway by close to 10 o'clock. I went back to the truck stop where I had been and fueled up the truck. Actually, I was a little concerned about the weight of the truck with product, and I'd only been filling the truck up to half a tank, or half a tank, let it go down to about a quarter of a tank, bring it up to half a tank, and I did that. And the reason I did that is because this is it's new truck to me, even though it's an older 10-year-old truck. But they've actually got very large fuel tanks. And if you're hauling 45,000 pounds worth of product and you put on 250 or so gallons of diesel, all of a sudden you're overweight, over 80,000 pounds. And I went across the scale and I was at about a half a tank. This is what got me worried earlier in the trip. I went across the scale and I came in at 80,200 pounds. And I go, oops. Now I wasn't stopped, I wasn't fined, I wasn't ticketed. They let it go. And that was in the state of Idaho. Now, if you're not familiar with your geography, Ontario sits on Interstate 84, right at the Idaho border, or very near it, and close to Boise, Idaho. And so drove about 350 miles approximately. And already my boss is calling me saying, when are you going to be back? I want to send you back out. He's got a load lined up for me for next week, departing on Wednesday. All right, here we go. Ropes and Surettes. I got 3 days of growth on my face, by the way. So as you know, I saw or as you may know, I've got an old high school buddy that lives up here in Lincoln City. We went to school together in Portland. Same school, same church, same Boy Scout. And so there was a whole bunch of us kids that did the same thing. And so my buddy created a real nice surprise for me. So he knew I was coming. I'm coming to see him. And now he lives in the Portland, Lincoln City, Portland, Vancouver, all very tight. And so there's still several of our old classmates that live in the Portland area. And so what he did is that he notified one that I was coming. And as it turns out, he's the girls' high school basketball coach at the very same school that we went to. At beautiful gymnasium, basketball, wood floor. Been there for 55, 60 years. They keep it up. Just a beautiful gymnasium, and that's one of the highlights of the school. It's a small school, small private Christian school. Somebody years ago donated the money. I mean, like I say, 40, 50 years ago, donated the money for this beautiful gymnasium. And so my friend says to me, I got a surprise for you. And we have to go back to the old school. Okay, whatever. And we walk in there, and my friend that I always, regularly see when I go up there, there's a guy standing inside the door, older guy, and he looks like Santa Claus, partially balding on top, white, thick beard, white hair, and so my friend says, "Hi, Steve, do you recognize this guy?" And he just said he was bringing somebody by because he knew that Steve was the girls' high school basketball coach. And Steve says, "No, not really, maybe." And my friend says, "This is Leon." And then my friend says to me, "This is Steve," and he calls his last name. And I said, "No." I said, "You're not." He said, "Yeah, I am." And we have not seen each other since we were 17 and 18 years old. It was a delightful, surprise, delightful visit, albeit short. He had duties to attend to with the girls' high school coach, basketball practice. And of course, the guy, Steve, his entire family was involved with the school back in the day. And so his mother, his father, his younger brother, his two younger brothers, Steve was actually a class ahead of us, my buddy and I. Then Steve had a brother, Tim, who was a year younger in a class. He was, in other words, he was a junior when we were seniors. I got to bring some more. I got to whip some more of this up. And that was all on Wednesday when I got into the truck stop. I got into the truck stop on Wednesday at about noon. He comes and picks me up at about 2:30. We went over to the school. They had basketball practice at 3:30. We visited with one of the administrators in the school to get visitors passes. Well, we're old alumni. We thought we'd stop in for a visit to see our friend Steve coaching the girls basketball team. So he outfitted us with visitor passes.
Customer 74, your shower is ready. Please proceed to shower 1.
And then apparently this guy was the keeper of the official records of the history of the school. And so he looked both of us up. And he said, yeah, there you are. I got you in the system. So he wanted updated address and phone number and all that stuff. So, okay, good, fine. And he knew some of the same people that we knew when we were in school back in the day. And I had gone to this school from 6th grade through 12th grade. Graduated high school there, went to 1 year of college there.
Your shower is ready. Please proceed to shower 1.
And the thing about the school, you know, like I said, devout Christian school, even today. Is the, for us back in the day with the camaraderie. In fact, my friend told me that the old principal that was there when we were there, and it was there for about 10 years after our class had graduated, used to tell my friend that our class, after our class graduated, it was just like it was, everything began to, it wasn't quite the same. Some of the sports began to fail. Some of the music programs began to fail. Two things the school was known for was music and baseball and basketball. And it was my class, when we came in as freshmen, there was no baseball team. There had been a baseball team years in past. And for whatever reason, it fell by the wayside. They just didn't have the fellas that wanted. Anyway, my class comes in, and we had 8 guys that were adamant about starting a baseball team, and we had a coach who was willing to coach it, but we had to find the 9th guy. And we did eventually, and he wasn't, you know, as you might suspect, wasn't exactly. Anyway, we got a team going, and it stayed going for several more years. The 4 years from my freshman year to my senior year, and I don't know how many years beyond. I hear the door knockers coming around, but the good news is I remember to bring my personal safety lock, and so the door is well secured. So had a real nice visit with my high school buddy. Didn't visit long with Steve, like I said, but it was so good to see him. And then the next day, on Thursday, yesterday, my daughter comes and picks me up at about 11 o'clock or so, and brings the grandson. And he was just, I hadn't seen him, it's not that we're especially close, but he was just all over me, and I loved it. I loved it. And he was respectful and courteous. And I'm going, where did this come from? And my daughter said, well, I told him to behave himself. But he was just wonderful, my little grandson. And I can't say that I know him. You've heard me talk about, if you've watched me for very long, and I know some of you have, you've heard me talk about the Wyatt collection. And my Wyatt collection is named for my grandson, Wyatt. want to say thank you to everybody that commented in the last on the last video. I got a lot of nice comments, and I do appreciate that. And since I've been back on the road now and shaving in the truck stops, more comments. Thank you. All right. There's the head shave, or the face shave.
Please proceed to shower 6.
With the ropes and sure edge. Beautiful razor. Little 5/8, maybe a little bit bigger, 11, whatever those in-between sizes are. Thiers-Assard leather case. I'm going to slip it in there for transport back to the truck. We're going to use a TR Cadman Bengal here in a minute on the head.
Customer 75, your shower is ready. Please proceed to shower 6.
So here's the Bengal, same one I used on the last video, on the last shave. And it's a Sheffield, as you may know. TR Cadman, and it says Sheffield, England on it. It's not, in other words, it's not a pre-1891. And so I usually, on the Sheffields, will hone them up on the conical. So tomorrow I will probably end up at Wamsutter, Wyoming. It's 600 miles from here to there. Now if I push a little further, I will, but I just don't know where that will be. I need to be back in Houston on Tuesday, if not before. Whoops. Sorry about that. Up close and personal on the head. Okay, that's about it. Face shave, head shave, back of the neck. All in under 53 minutes. Wow, what did I do different? I don't know. Okay, that's it. Thank you for joining me from wherever I'm at, Ontario, Oregon, and I'll see you down the road.